Holy moly, gorgeous souls. How was your Thanksgiving? I'm laughing because, dude, that energy that we just went through, and we're coming into the full moon here. It's 6:26 in the morning, and I'm pre-recording this breaking the cage for you. So I'm going to be putting it out tonight for you all to see it. But it's 6:30 in the morning, and the new moon technically comes in at what, like 9:15 this morning, and all I can say is I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. And I hope not too much went wrong or on the path, because this has been the energy of what I continuously say, trying to force circles into squares. And it's not over. It will shift a bit throughout the week, but it's far from being over. Like I said, you've got a nice harsh run we're about to run through. Spirit literally gave me because I had a mental breakdown myself. That's why I didn't do the show last night. I had to get right before I could bring you the show. And Spirit gave me an image of something from my past, not from my past life, from my childhood life. As an idea of, woman, this is where we're at. This is what we're working with. This is the kind of energy we are in. And I'm going to share with you as I come into this, because what is it? My mom told me, I'm a warrior, guys. You guys know that. I'm a warrior. I am about peace, love, and happiness, and I want the light to win, and I want all good things, and I want us to find our inner peace, but I am a warrior. I am a throwdowner, okay? I don't come to it in happy foo-foo, and most of you who follow this know this about me. And I've been that way ever since, even before I can remember. My mom told me, and this is what Spirit was putting back in my mind today. My mom told me, I think I was about 5 years old, and and I don't really remember it, but then I saw a vision of it today, and Spirit was like, that's the energy we're in, chickie, you know? And I was about 5 years old, and Mom told me I wasn't allowed to go outside. My dad was outside. I don't know what Dad was doing, but apparently I wanted to go outside. And the screen door was locked, but we didn't have a screen door. We had, like the glass door. And my father used to always say, if you don't like it, kick it. So here I am, a little 5-year-old, and I've done kicked my leg through that door. The glass has fallen, broken, landed all around my leg, and my leg is standing there bleeding when my mom comes running around the corner. And I'm seeing this in the vision that they're showing me, because I don't remember it specifically from when I was a kid. And I'm sitting there going, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. As my foot is standing there bleeding and the glass is in it and everything, all because I had to have my way and I had to have it right now. This is what Spirit is showing me to help us understand where I'm trying to say to you, you cannot force a circle into a square. Okay, guys? You have the full moon coming up this morning in a couple hours. For you, it will have already happened by the time you see this show. But you're still feeling that energy as it built over the weekend, as we came out of Thanksgiving, went through the weekend, and a lot of that energy is still sitting. It's shifted. It's not quite as hard as it was this weekend, but we're still feeling it. Not to mention, Mercury is now in shadow, guys. And it's not in a good place for its shadow. And I'm going to explain to you why, really, really why you're feeling so intense about the energies. The first thing, like I said, is you can't force circles into squares. This is a time of really realizing where you're stuck and you can't let go of something. This is what I call vampire syndrome, where I tend to explain to people vampire syndrome is something that's just sucking the life out of you and you don't want it to be anymore. but yet you can't give it up. You can't change. You can't change that cycle, so to speak. There's something that's blocking, and in this case, it's important because something is blocking because there's a lesson to learn. And I say it all the time. I'm like this is a shaman ball. Technically, shaman balls come with two. And but where I call it a lot of times, I'm like, I don't want this shaman ball anymore. I don't want this. I don't want this guilt, this grief, this sorrow, this shame, this resentment. I don't want this hard, heavy energy. I'm trying to let go of it. I'm trying to find a better way. I'm trying to shift something. I'm trying. Can you please take it from me here? I'm happy to give it to you. But take it from my cold, dead hand because I can't give it up. I don't know how. This is obsessed energy. Kind of like when you're trying to fix something or you need to change a password on an email or something that you need a password for, and for something's wrong with the computer and it won't send the email properly and you can't do it, but you're going to spend 2 hours repeatedly sending it over and over and over again, driving yourself nuts. That's the energy I'm talking about. Obsessed. I need what I need and I need it right now. You're not going to get it right now. Stop forcing circles into squares. What you are learning is the lesson in a form of timing. You can't force the timing, and you can't force the path. No matter how much you want to. Sometimes there's a lesson you have to learn. You've got to redirect it. You're trying so hard, but you have to go through what you have to go through in order to learn the thing you've got to learn. And you can't cheat and you can't get around it. This is also where we are learning to really dig in raw, like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, getting to the depths of our rawness, of our egos, of this three-dimensional crap, of this world we were told to see and to be a part of because we're trying to break the freaking cage. But this is the pieces of the cage that isn't even still being worked on by them. This is the pieces of the cage that have so deeply been implanted and embedded into your thinking process, your beliefs, your life. Now we're getting raw. We're getting into where you're trying to pull the implant out. But you're going to find that implant and where it's embedded in and where it keeps ticking wrong. This is what a lot of that forcing circles into squares is. Or as Spirit put it to me standing there as a 5-year-old trying to kick the glass door open because I had to go out that damn door and go hang out and do things I wasn't supposed to be doing. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. You are going to be dealing with a lot of this, and you can't force timing right now this week. There's a lot of things you're still going to be trying to do that just are not going to go the way you want. And you're going to have to learn to go with the flow and find a higher perspective because Mercury is now also in shadow. And it is not in a good place. I didn't do the blueprint like I normally do because, like I said, I've been in an emotional situation myself over this past 24 hours, okay? And I went into where it really was important. I've been saying how Jupiter and Uranus and the energies in the head and the throat chakras, which is mainly Aries and Taurus energies, Chiron, North Node, Jupiter, Uranus, and how they're really dealing with the zeal point, the actual spine, the spinal cord, dealing with sending the circulation of our communication to all of our chakras and what and how we're seeing and perceiving the world. From the vibrational perspective of where we are viewing this world. Now that's important because while it's the zeal point and the zeal point and the throat chakra, that has to do with your higher consciousness and your lower consciousness. Which one are you more connected to? And yes, as you move out throughout the day, just like the aura, your aura does not remain the same or the exact same color all day for months on end. It shifts. It shifts with what you're going through emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. So is what you're viewing, where you are dimensionally standing, vibrationally. And this is all about how are you going to express? And what do you have to express from a higher or lower vibration? And what's the right way of expressing it? And what's the way of just losing your shit? I say it that way because, like I said, Mercury is now in shadow. It's in shadow in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has Mars, the Sun, and Ceres here. Not the Ceres, starts Ceres. And this is your warrior and the Sun, which have been directly in, a square to Pluto? Not Pluto. Saturn, rules, walls, boundaries. I'm going to make this happen no matter what. No, you're not. Forcing circles into squares. This is, I'm going to take that flight home so that I could have gotten there faster, and you end up a day late. I have to leave now so I can be ahead of time, and then the car breaks down. You're late. Forcing a circle into a square is not going to happen. You now have Ceres also here, which is karma, the threefold, nurturing or neglecting. You cannot avoid the lesson. It's not going to let you slide. Mercury, however, is at the other end of Sagittarius, now in shadow coming towards them. Mercury is your communication. And your full moon is taking place in Gemini, ruled by Mercury in communication and shadow, looking at all of I need right now, up close and personal. And you're not going to get it. You're going to have to learn to find that inner peace. Because there's a lesson here about that embedded plant, that embedded idea, perspective, three-dimensional hive mind. Only way you know how to live. We're learning how to acknowledge it. We're getting raw. We're getting deep. We're changing that. Not to mention where Mercury's in shadow. Technically, is colliding in the blueprint of your 7th, 8th, and 9th house. It's that root chakra. What a lot of people like to see the root chakra and the sacral chakra. But really, this is more of the sexual chakra. And I am getting into the Hindu perspective because I have been telling you all, I don't know how long I've been telling you all that this is so much more deeper than your upper 7 chakras. If you do not start concentrating on the lower levels of consciencelessness, then you are not really building a strong foundation because those lower chakras are just going to sift up. And this is the rawness that I've been talking about for years. You have that 7th, 8th, and 9th house in the body, in the blueprint, which is dealing with your relationships with yourself, your financial resources, your financial, your efforts, your joint efforts, joint resources, joint, taxes, marriages, memberships, commitments, rules, walls, boundaries, ability to reignite and continue to circulate in a healthy way or an unhealthy way, the relationship itself with that, And then it's the ninth house. It's where this energy is colliding in the human body. A lot of people are going to go after the heart right now. This is coming from the lower consciousness. It's getting into that root chakra, which is the memory center of your consciousness. It's the foundation of the consciousness of which you are in at the time of your vibrational frequency of whatever it is. We shift. And the consciousness of where you're at. Then it's dealing with that Ming Ming, which is technically in Hindu, the sexual, not the sacral chakra, the sexual chakra. And that has everything to do with rebirthing. This has to do with, it's also called the gateway of life. It is an energy accelerator. It's technically, I'm dealing with a lot of the backdoor chakras here too. It's dealing with the lower back chakra or mid chakra underneath the sacral chakra. It's considered the sexual chakra, but like I said, it's a gateway of life. And it's an energy accelerator, facilitating the energy that is returning back up to the heart as well as down through the body, accelerating even the lower consciousness, sending it through circulation. This is part of what I'm talking about with that rawness that's been coming out. Then it's getting into the actual lower consciousness. Say it with me. I say it that way because I want you to hear it. Consciencelessness. Meaning I don't got no conscience. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care who I hurt. I'm so stressed. I'm so worried. I'm so pushed to the edge. That's consciencelessness. This is getting into the fear, the lust, the anger, the despair, the confusion, the frustration of what you can't understand and why you can't fix it. I need what I need and I need it right now. That's rising like a teapot that's about to go or bubbling water. This stuff's coming out because we have to get rid of it. We have to heal it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to pull the embedded machine out of us. We have to stop being part of that consciousness and becoming part of our own consciousness. We got to stop riding the hive mind and break away, literally. This is speaking to you about the colon, the bladder, the kidneys, the gallbladder, the reproductive energies, the hips, the thighs. Speaking directly to the frustration, the fear, the anger, the despair, the lust. I need what I need and I need it right now. Coming directly up and hitting the throat chakra. How you're going to express? Not to mention all that energy over the weekend and through this next week is having a lot of energy fighting with Saturn. Saturn rules walls and boundaries, baby. In Pisces, still at 0 degrees. That's like the lights are turned off. It's purge time. There's no rules. And Pisces is still the 12th house in the human body. Saturn is sitting on the consciencelessness chakra of Mahatala and Patala. Told you, Hindu chakras. I'm getting it deeper to this stuff. This is the realm itself of the consciencelessness. This is your inner blindness. This is you owe me. I've been busting my ass. I've been doing this. I've been killing myself for you. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. Da-da-da-da-da. This is that holding on to you owe me energy. I need it and I need it right now. It is destructive. It is revenge. It is torture. It is hatred. That's all in your feet. Why do you think when you're so frustrated and you're so upset, you trip? You twist your ankle. You get caught on things. The lower consciousness is technically going, you're about to fuck up. Slow down. Get out of this thinking. Get out of this fear, anxiety, anger. Inner peace, you're not going to force a circle into a square. You cannot force timing. And with that, it's finding your inner peace, your inner love, allowing yourself to go with the flow and be willing to allow that timing to make it shift and teach you about that higher consciousness, about that higher consciousness. Like I said, sometimes it is about going, okay, I got to excuse myself because I can't act right. So I got to go somewhere else and get my own back and then come back. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Because like I said, I'm not going through the true blueprint. You don't need it all. I just gave you the most important parts. When you get into the actual energy this week, normally I start with positives, but I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to do it with the negatives. Actually, I'm going to do it with the moon first and start moving you into the negatives and back to the positives because there's not much. They are there, but you need to know what you're being aware of. So when it starts hitting, you know to go, okay, I need a break. I need a break. I need to cool off and I need to act right and think this shit through instead of blowing my shit out of proportion. And I just got a tiger that came in, which is talking about courage. And before I started this show, I was given a spider, which is talking about, oh, the web we weave. Past, future, present. Like I said, you've got the full moon today, here in a couple hours. By the time you see it, will have already happened. It's in Gemini. And it is fighting with Mercury and Neptune. Meaning the moon's in Gemini in the third house and the communication, all kinds of up close and personal in your communication with your friends, your family, up close and personal, but also those short trips, taking a trip over to the store, trivia, up close and personal, anything that is important right here in the specialty of the home, right around the corner. That communications in that Gemini, Jekyll and Hyde, shifting, squirreling. Going from logic to panic to emotional to okay to logic to panic to emotional to okay. Jekyll and Hyde. Then going directly over to that Sagittarius energy where Mercury, it's having this conversation with. Remember, Sagittarius is about the higher perspective, but in the chakras, it's the lower perspectives. This is why they call it, this is why it's known to have the arrow, like it's close to the Chiron energy, the wounded healer. It's being able close to Aquarius energy, like the waters of higher life are being poured in. It's galactic center energy. But are you in it, or are you in the earthly lower consciousness of it? And this is where we're talking about that fear, that lust, that anger, that frustration. Your communication can go from one to the other emotionally very quick, depending on what you are a part of, what energy you're in. I've said a million times, if you cannot harness your inner chaos, you will never control and harness your power. This is one of those times you're being tested. And I'd be the first one to tell you, even I had to go sit in the car. I'm like, I gotta go sit in the car before I murder someone. Because I gotta act right, and I don't know how right now. Like I said, you've got that full moon energy is talking to Mercury, through Gemini's moon, and then going over to Neptune in the 12th house. Right here at the end of the lesson of Let Me Slap You Down. Have you learned anything about your denial, your despair, your grief, your sorrow, your shame, all your skeletons in the closet? Where do you refuse to heal? But we keep creating the same path over and over. This is breaking the machine, breaking the cage, raw, up close and personal. Then you've got that moon's going to go into Cancer, where it's going to be really good, though. It's going to be going into Cancer. It is having wonderful energies with Jupiter in that second house, which is still in retrograde, and wonderful energies with with Lilith, which is in the 6th house. Your ability to shift it, your ability to express what you need to shift. Vista is the fire, the home and the hearth, but it literally is in your inner emotional security, trusting in thyself, loving thyself, speaking with the ability of coming into your identity, your authenticity, your integrity. And your 6th house, which is your mundane tasks, your diet, it's your working environment, it's your people, places, and things. It's the mundane. And I can't say enough times, the mundane is where the biggest level of manifestation comes from, because you overlook it. You do it so repetitively. And it is here giving you great opportunities to make changes. That's on the 29th. But then you come into the moon as it goes through all the rest of the energy I'm about to explain, as it enters Leo. And holy hell, the moon ain't having nobody's shit. The moon in Leo, in the heart space, in your creativity, in your fun zone, in everything that matters. Do you get to enjoy your life? Are you able to be what you want to be? That moon is going to be touching base and showing you where you're not comfortable, and it's questioning everybody across the board as you come into the end of the week. There is positive energies, but like I said, I wanted you to hear this because you need to know how to go. Oh, no, I need a private moment. You have a T-square all week with that North Node, Pluto, and Venus with the South Node in the 7th house. Libra. Again, Libra is all about harmony, balance, and justice, but it always shows you where harmony, balance, and justice is not. It always is talking to us about where it is out of balance, out of justice, out of harmony. Pluto showing us the outer world, where we turn back to the last 200 years of the same story. Pluto here. And it's not going to be moving back into Aquarius until like right in January, I think. So we've gone back to the same perspectives, the old world. Pluto is your honor, your reputation, your prestige, the political arena. Them trying to hold on one last time with just a little bit of what they have left, but they're holding on to the fact you still have it embedded in you. Then that North Node, everything you need to learn about what is keeping you from truly creating a new cycle. Where are you in your own way? Where are you still pointing the fingers? Where are you not viewing from your inner blindness what you need to see that will help you the most? This is, like I said, it's difficult because that Venus in the south node is wanting to count on people who are going to show you they aren't there. They are not there. They are not going to be the people you wanted them to be. Because the south node is everything that you're good at and everything that you've been holding on to and everything that you wanted to believe, but it's not the right thing. You have to grow. This is where we're stunted our growth. This is saying, don't go back to those old relationships. No, no, no. Is it keeping you from moving forward? And where is it keeping you from feeling authentic? Where is it keeping you from getting into your liberation and believing in yourself and making a new cycle actually happen? Then you have Saturn, like I said, all over this energy. Saturn is in a T square, which means it's difficult energy. With the Sun, Mars, and Ceres in that ninth house, your morals, your ethics, your spiritual beliefs, your spiritual communication, your psychic activity, your dreams, your journeying, your ability to be of higher consciousness or of some of the worst, lowest. Saturn in that no boundaries right now, 0 degrees, 12th house, inner blindness, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, inner skeletons in the closet. Are you going to see what we have to show you, universe? And then it's going into Lilith, the 6th house. Where's your fire? Are you having time in your life, in your daily routines, your daily activities, your mundane tasks, your people, places, and things? The people, places, and things of energy that you are part of are also a part of you. And it feeds your manifestation. Is it sucking you dry? Your daily activities. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, the most important things are the things that you overlook. This is your fire. Are you getting the time to do what makes you feel, I'm glad to be here? Coming into your morals, your ethics, this is sacrifice energy. What are you sacrificing and why? And is it worth it? When you look at the end of the story, not right now, not in the I need what I need and I need it right now, but when you look at the bigger picture, I've said a million times, when you look at a wall, and somebody says, look at that wall, and they're like, yeah, I see the picture on the wall. I'm not talking about the picture. I'm talking about the picture. I'm talking about the frame. I'm talking about the way the place is painted. Is it falling apart? I'm telling you, look at the whole damn wall. This is what I'm talking about. Look at your life. What is the sacrifice? Is it working for you in the long run? Is it going to be something you're going to be, or is it pulling from you now, but in the long run, it's going to be a good thing? Or are you giving it and there's nobody respecting it? This is really a deep, raw truth of soul of who you are. Energy. It's a defining moment. You have Saturn, who's also not getting along with Lilith. Like I said, it was that T square, but Saturn alone is not getting along with Lilith. There are changes that need to be made. How and what are you capable of redirecting to make these changes, even if they're only small steps? Sometimes it takes a whole bunch of little baby million steps before you get there. Sometimes it takes a couple stubbing your toes and realizing, oh, I need to turn this direction, before you actually carve the proper path, because you're constantly trying to run back into a wall that's there. It's a defining moment. People, places, and things, these energies create your manifestation because you are part of these energies. And are you getting the time to be part of what you want to be creating? Rules, walls, boundaries. Chiron and that north node of the first house, your character, how you're viewing the world, the lens in which you're vibrationally seeing this world through, and your thinking patterns according to that lens is speaking directly with Venus and that south node, speaking about the relationships in which you are part of, as well as the relationship you have with yourself. Venus is not love. Venus talks about where it is secure energy and where it is insecure energy, where it is betrayals and lies versus where it is warm and cuddly and safe. The South Node is showing you where you have bad patterns that need to be broken. The North Node itself, everything you need to learn in order to move forward in our character as we shift and recreate a new foundation. That's in Pluto. Talking to Pluto right now. What are you showing this outer world you are? Are you authority or are you a sheep? What does your honor and reputation say about you? It's not just the political arena, and it's not just your careers. Big picture, guys. That's what we're looking at. Now, you do have positive energies. You've got Mercury and Venus, which have been getting along all last week and this week, along with the South Node. This is, even though Mercury is in shadow, Venus with that North Node here, South Node here, and the relationship is telling you the truth. It's telling you where you need to love yourself and where you've not been loving yourself. What is true and what is not about your relationship with yourself as well as the outer world. Your ethics, your morals, your beliefs, your patterns. Then you've had that sextile that's been going on for several months now, and the moon was on top of it this morning. The moon was with Uranus this morning, but now we're at Uranus speaking in a sextile to Neptune, speaking in a sextile to Pluto. That's been going on for about 2 months now, which is independence, authenticity, the ability of bringing it forward and showing the outer world. But now it is showing it speaking to that sun, Ceres, and Mars. Going from that Pluto to that sun, Ceres, and Mars. So this is, are you in your ego and gonna bust down the walls and show your ass and end up in jail? Because it's also karma in the threefold. Or are you standing in your power, coming back to it, reclaiming it, getting in that higher perspective, the higher sacrifice that it takes to get in this higher consciousness, ethics, morals, from a higher perspective, and illuminating who you are as this character, full circle. You have some powerful trines this week also. Very powerful. That North Node is definitely communicating well with Mercury. Even though it's in shadow, it's in a very bad place. Mercury is not comfortable here. It is very much under scrutiny. Like I said, the sun's here, Mercury, Ceres, threefold karma, nurturing, neglecting, the sun, illuminating the truth on your psychic, your spiritual, your vibrational energy. Mars, your inner warrior. Are you a smart warrior? Or are you like the child I was at 5 years old and kicked my foot through the glass? I don't like this. I don't like this one bit because I had to have my way. Because I learned no patience yet. Mercury in the North Node. The North Node is trying to teach you everything you need to know about your character. Because it's trying to help you learn to view with the right lens. to see the bigger picture. That's what this week is. We're really starting to view the bigger picture here. What are you going to do with the knowledge in your own life? Jupiter in retrograde in Taurus is talking with Lilith. Anything Jupiter touches, it's an abundance. Even though it's in retrograde, that doesn't make it bad. That just makes it go, I'm a little bit more self-centered right now because I've got some work to do here. And it's talking about your money house on a universal scale. It's in Taurus. Your possessions, small movable possessions, or are you the possession itself? Speaking to that outer world's mundane tasks, people, places, and things. Are you taking part in the people, places, and things? Are you having possession over parts of those people, places, and things? Or are you the possession of those people, places, and things? Abundance, self-worth, self-value, liberation, authenticity. Use it or lose it. But it's a positive energy. You're capable of doing it. And if you can stand up and just say, no, I need to make these changes, but be in the right space to do this. It's the throat. It's the expression. There's been a lot of shadow energy making us, unstable in this energy of speaking up right now. Plus, you've got Saturn, which is getting along with Venus, meaning Saturn is rules, walls, and boundaries. Even though it's at 0 degrees, it's kind of like it's turned off. But it's Venus in the 7th house, your relationship zone. If you can act right and you can have the courage to come up and state what you're wanting to change, Saturn is in the magic spot to make it happen. It's not going to happen easy. You're going to work for it. It's going to take some time. You can't force a circle into a square. But timing is everything. But you can't force timing. There are changes here to be made if it's done properly. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.